Hello everyone, this is the LEGO Ninjago Movie Piranha Attack set featuring the very unique Piranha mech. Now most of the volume of the build here is made up of very large kind of prefab styled pieces that are typically used in aircraft fuselages, much to the dismay of many LEGO purists who would prefer to see things built up with more smaller basic pieces on a more consistent basis. But here's the thing. LEGO has made these pieces. They have made the investment to create the parts, so I find it really cool when they actually use them in inventive ways, ways that are creative and bring something new to the table. And this certainly does all of that, checks all of those boxes. Studs on the side and kind of upside down construction for the top of the head, the whole top portion of it, and I think it looks great. I mean, technically speaking, this is the top of the build here. This is the base of it, the underside of it where the anti-studs are. And the whole thing is able to hinge back to open up because that's actually the cockpit there where a person would sit. I'll seat a person in there in just a minute, but it has the printed console piece there and a couple of control sticks. But yeah, it's just such a unique thing, one of the more interesting original builds that I've seen LEGO come up with in a while. It's just so weird, so different. The set does have a lot of stickers, I feel, for its size and for its number of pieces. I think it was 9 stickers in total, which did feel a little bit excessive and maybe a little bit unnecessary with some of those stickers that don't really add a lot. This does have a couple of flick-fire missiles there that you can see, one on either side. This whole assembly on either side can be angled, so you can angle that basically flat like that, or you can drop it down. Doesn't really do anything, doesn't really change anything. I think the eyes are done pretty nicely themselves, and you saw that I was able to move the feet back and forth, so you can kind of bring those together like this, maybe in a stationary position when it's just parked, and you can also close down the head completely like that, which has kind of a funny look with the underbite there, which is appropriate to the subject matter, but not as useful. I think it doesn't look as interesting or as aggressive either. Once you open up the mouth a little bit, it starts to look like it's getting ready to bite you. But then when you put a person inside, then you can start to see him when you have that mouth open, which is bad in some ways, good in others. That's about it for what you can actually do with this thing. It has a couple of simulated jet or rocket boosters on the back, so you can imagine this thing being able to hop around a little bit. And it has that stalk up on the top, which features a searchlight or floodlight that can be used for a little extra visibility. It is a small mech relative to what the Ninja get this time around, but it's still large enough to look pretty intimidating against regular citizens. This set does include one citizen's vehicle rather than a Ninja vehicle or mech. This is able to accommodate a single figure in the seat there, and the guy is able to actually hold on to it. Do you call him a driver, or would he be like a runner or a puller? This is a pretty cool looking build, a little bit on the tall side, actually a little bit on the large side, just overall, relative to the size of figures, but it works out well enough. I very much like the decorations that they include in the form of stickers there. I like the color choices, kind of like the lanterns on the sides, but I wish they were just a little less bulky on the undersides, but I do like the shaping. Just wish there's a little bit less volume of plastic there. Everything here I think is pretty good except for the scale, but certainly it kind of gives you food for thought to translate this into a slightly smaller scale with just different parts. The Rickshaw dude here is actually a named character. He is Ray, and I like how he's set up. I like the prints. The color scheme is kind of in line with a lot of the stuff that they've done up to this point. It's nothing too special, but I do think it's a good looking figure. The bad guy here is just a generic Shark Army thug. So not a named character and not anything special for him in terms of the pieces that he comes with, but I think that each of these is fine in its own way and for its own purpose. Set comes with Kai with his 2 silver katana on his back, and he has his full hairpiece. Does not include the alternate hood to set him up with his full gear, but I do like that hairpiece myself personally. Like the shaping of it. It's very dynamic in its design. Looks like it has motion, and I think it's something that could be used outside of the context of the Ninjago movie theme as well. I think he has a good standard face that would also work as a version of him for the cartoon, for the TV series. And here's his alternate face, as well as a look at the print on the back of the torso. Last but certainly not least, here is the Iron Dragon. Do not call her Misako. This is Coco. I learned the hard way several times that if you call her Misako, you will get ridiculed off the internet. It is... Anyway, whether you call her by her name or her nickname, it's the Iron Dragon version of her. And unfortunately, from what I've heard from other viewers, all of them have the same problem with the face print being far too thin, with the application of the yellow there, which still leaves a lot of the black showing through. Now the hair is done really nicely, the armor and quiver piece is done really nicely, the cloth piece that goes around her legs is nicely printed, and I think the colors work well, but it doesn't fold up as well as I would like. Definitely needs a lot of work to get it to even settle down this much, but I would like it to fold a little bit more flat. With some stuff removed, you can more clearly see her face and compare that to the yellow color of her hands, or look at another figure side by side, and that's the yellow that you want to see for that face. So it's a big difference. It's definitely a problem, but unfortunately does seem to be consistent across the at least initial production of these in 2 sets. Nice prints, subtle of course because of the color scheme. There is no print to be seen on the hips or the legs, so nothing is being hidden there. Nice figure, just has that one major problem. So I like the mech here. I actually like it a lot better than I thought I would because of the build and the really interesting uses of not just that main piece that you see on the front, but also underneath and behind as well, how that's all put together. And the fact that you can splay the legs about, that's actually useful even though it's very simple. I feel like the Rickshaw, the more I look at it in person and even in pictures, the more I realize just how oversized it is. I really would have liked something that had just even just the roof brought down a bit, and you can pretty clearly see that you can, reduce that size fairly simply, even without adding your own pieces. But if you do add your own pieces, then you can bring it down even more to something more reasonable. Still, cool set overall. Shame about the face that does not look like that there, but the things that I find to be issues in this set do not outweigh the many cool things about it. And that's Piranha Attack from the LEGO Ninjago movie theme. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll be talking to you again soon because more videos are always on the way.